Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Why do you think it is that Ripple is so interested in pushing for a world where central bank digital currencies are widely adopted? Why do you think that might be the case? Well, that's what I want to talk about here, because ultimately, Ripple is striving to create what they call the Internet of Value, which is simply the idea of moving money or things of value around just as easily as it is to move information around today with Internet 1.0. And Ripple is positioning RippleNet and XRP to basically be the glue of global finance, and as it pertains to moving money around the planet across borders. And really, it's kind of like, if Ripple has the success that they're anticipating, XRP will move all the money. Well, when I say that, all the money that needs to be bridged, because any asset, any fiat currency, cryptocurrency, like, it doesn't by nature interoperate. And so there's got to be a way to seam this all together. And XRP is the only cryptocurrency on the planet that's being positioned for this. And you got to wonder, in a world where this is widely adopted, and then on top of that, thrown on top of that, all the other use cases, what if Coil continues to find success? What's that going to do for the supply and demand dynamics of XRP? Other use cases, people continuing to use it to help facilitate trading on exchanges, because people are manually using it to move from value from one exchange to another. There's all sorts of use cases. What is this going to look like in another 5 to 10 years? Well, here's an announcement that we just found out about the other day. This is from Ripple. Ripple joins the Digital Pound Foundation, designing a path for a central bank digital currency forward future. So I want to talk a bit about that, and also, it's unrelated to XRP, just a story I found fun, so I'll cover this in the later part of the video, but this is a story yesterday from You Today. Here's why current gold rise may be bad for Bitcoin, according to Peter Schiff. Oh, good old lovable, fumbling, bumbling Peter Schiff. I do like the guy, but damn, he could not be more wrong about crypto. And so he thinks that Bitcoin's going to go the way of the dodo, which is to say extinct. And I've got this article from this summer highlighting comments from Anthony Scaramucci, who believes that gold's going extinct effectively. Kind of fun comparison, so I wanted to talk about that. But before going further, I also want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby, just for fun. That's all that's going on here. And I wanted to get rolling with this tweet from an XRP community member named Frecky. I came across this, and this kind of resonated with me. I thought it would fit perfectly into this latest Moon Lambo hot jam. And here's what Frecky wrote. In reality, Bitcoin will continue to grow, however, will lose rank 1 in market cap. That will show natural market growth towards network effect and use case. Few understand this. This is why being pro-Bitcoin isn't enough. And so look, this speaks to something that I bring up from time to time, which is that, simply, to put it in a sentence, utility matters and will win the day. So those cryptocurrencies that are actually solving real-world problems are the ones that will have long-term viability, and XRP is among the most adopted of cryptocurrencies on the entire planet at this point. We'll have to continue watching to make sure something unexpected and negative doesn't happen, and if it does, I'll abandon ship. Like, I am not married to any crypto, including XRP. I will be screaming it from the rooftops if it looks like there's some sort of doomsday scenario for XRP. You better believe that, because I got my money invested in this. If it's going south, think about it. If it were, wouldn't you want to know? But the good news is that's not what we're seeing. That's not reality here. And so just seeing that it's actually getting adopted, like, whatever cryptocurrency ends up supplanting Bitcoin, and it means that it's solving a larger problem than what Bitcoin is solving. Because right now, all Bitcoin is solving is store of value. So if there's a bigger problem to be solved, more money will flow there. And do you think store of value is a bigger problem? Or do you think that gluing all the money on the planet together is a bigger problem? I'm asking. Look, I tend to think gluing together is a bigger problem. But even if not, even if gluing the money together with XRP as a bridge currency is not a bigger problem, if it gets adopted for that use case and then also gets store of value, it can supplant Bitcoin anyway. Because I believe any cryptocurrency that's adopted based on utility will also be used as a store of value for people. I firmly believe that. I'm doing that. I'm absolutely doing that. And I'm going to continue to do that. So to me, that just makes all the sense in the world. And so, look, Ripple continues to build out the Internet of Value. And their goal is to replace Swift. And they haven't been coy about it. XRP will be the intermediary that makes it possible to move money around the entire planet, converting one fiat currency to another via RippleNet and on-demand liquidity. And that is extremely powerful and represents a tremendous value. And money follows value, because remember, price and value are different things. When you talk about price, you're talking about the open market price of a particular asset at that moment in time. And when you're talking about value, you're talking about usefulness. What does it do for people? And those two things are different, and I do my best to not conflate the two. Sometimes I unintentionally use them interchangeably, but they're different. They are different. And I can only imagine what that might do to price action in a mature market that values real-world utility. And we'll get there. We'll get there someday. Right now, Ripple is at the forefront of the fintech revolution, pushing hard for a world that embraces central bank digital currencies. But why would Ripple care if central banks around the world create their own currencies, their own fiat currencies, their own central bank digital currencies? Well, it's simple. A world in which central bank digital currencies are the norm will see many more transactions than occur today because pain points will be removed. Fees will be substantially reduced. Many middlemen will go extinct, like the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature. But even so, central bank digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and all tokenized assets will not ever all be magically interoperable. They'll all need a bridge, and XRP can fill that role. And that's why Ripple is supporting central banks that choose to create their own central bank digital currency. And for those of you that may have missed it, here's a headline from March 3rd this year. Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching central bank digital currencies. And so this is technology based on the XRP ledger, but just a private version, so that if you launch a central bank digital currency using the XRP private ledger as a template, because they will tweak it and adjust it in all sorts of ways that I'm not privy to what might happen. But some of them are kind of obvious. The reason this is important, and you want to have the control, you want this to be centralized if you're a government, is that you can roll back transactions, for example, and you can print new money on demand. Because that. Can you imagine the United States government not being able to create new dollars like that? That would be a problem, right? And so for them anyway. So there's a number of reasons you're not going to see a central bank digital currency issued on the XRP ledger, even though you can tokenize anything on the XRP ledger and there's no technical hurdle to do that. There are other reasons that it simply will not happen. So why did Ripple go to the trouble of building a central bank digital currency private ledger? Well, they state it right here. Look. This also means, let me just read this one or two sentences here. This also means the central bank digital currency private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years, including its native digital asset XRP, this is the money part, which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between central bank digital currencies and other currencies. So there you go, XRP in the middle of all of this. And they believe that there would be an increased flow of transactions and more need for XRP to be utilized. That's the purpose of all of this. And it makes sense. And XRP actually happens to be the most useful and best cryptocurrency on the entire planet, specifically for payments. XRP is not the best cryptocurrency on the planet for every single use case, but it is for some use cases, including payments. And it's never going to be a one-size-fits-all. Which is why the Bitcoin maxi dream of just Bitcoin being used for everything, it's just, my gosh, what a fantasy land to live in. I can only imagine having a brain that actually thinks that outcome makes sense. What would it be like to have a brain that's basically it doesn't operate properly? That would be an interesting experience. And so here you have the headline again. Ripple joins the Digital Pound Foundation, designing a path forward for a central bank digital currency forward future. Today, Ripple is excited to announce it is joining the Digital Pound Foundation, a non-profit focused on the development and implementation of a digital pound in the United Kingdom. Ripple, as a foundation member, will be represented on the board by Susan Friedman, head of policy. Ripple's participation in the foundation continues our ongoing work engaging central banks globally on technical and policy issues related to central bank digital currencies. Ripple believes the UK has long been at the forefront of encouraging responsible innovation and growth in the crypto asset space, and development of a digital pound is the logical outgrowth of that work. And here's a quote: "We are excited to support the design and implementation of a digital pound in partnership with the Digital Pound Foundation," Friedman noted, and also said the foundation will help advance the UK's goal to build a more inclusive and sustainable financial future. And I don't want to read the whole article, but Ripple does go on to state here, and this is, by the way, this is part of Ripple Insights, which is their blog series, their official blog series on the Ripple website. But they go on to state here that today over 80% of central banks on the planet are actively exploring some form of sovereign-backed cryptocurrency, including central bank digital currencies. And so the private ledger is going to be used by some of them, presumably. And in fact, we already had big news last month. For those that missed out, they note it right here at the bottom. I made a video on this when it happened. Just last month, Ripple announced a partnership with Bhutan's central bank, the Royal Monetary Authority, to pilot retail, cross-border, and wholesale payment use cases for the digital, I don't remember how to say that currency, NGULTRU, and Nigultrum, something like that. I don't know. But using its central bank digital currency solution. The partnership will help Bhutan enhance digital payments and expand financial inclusion efforts while maintaining its commitment to sustainability. And so already there, it's a small country, but who cares? This is a government that decided that using the XRP ledger as a basis, like, to run their sovereign financial state, that's what they decided made sense. That's big. Come on, the XRP ledger, you still get the blazing fast speed even with the private version. It's just you get special controls that you don't have with the XRP ledger. So if you want something centralized, XRP ledger is not really the place to do that. So then into this now. This is fun. From you today. Here's why current gold rise may be bad for Bitcoin, according to Peter Schiff. And by the way, there's some comments too in this article, the one from CNBC with Scaramucci, and he goes on to cite, I'm going to get to it, but Amazon, he ends up talking about how much Amazon would be worth right now if you bought the stock at its IPO. And so it's just funny, like, the idea of holding on and, like, technologically where things are going in the future, because, all that the internet and tech stuff, like, that's what's been big over the last couple decades in particular. First for the web, and then specifically you can think about the FANG stocks and so on and so forth. But certainly cryptocurrency going to dramatically outpace all of that. The amount of money flowing in and the multiplier effect, it's something that humankind has never experienced before. And all of this. And so gold, it's not going away. It's not like it's actually going to go away. And there is utility to be had with it. Although most of the price for gold, it's not based on that utility. A very small percentage of it is, because it can be used in electronics, for jewelry, stuff like that. But the vast majority of it, it's just store of value. That really is it. And so, no, it's not going to go away. But if you look at surveys that have been done, it's very clear that especially younger generations, they're way more interested in putting money into crypto than other asset classes, and especially gold. And so you might, like, the way I'm looking at it, and it's been discussed before, it's an interesting topic, and I'm always interested in everybody else's opinions on this as well. But it certainly seems like this, whatever gold's market cap is today, I don't know, 9, 10 trillion, whatever it is, like, that could shrink a lot. Like, it actually could shrink, because if the majority of that is store of value. And I mean, it's not going to go, I don't believe it's going to go away, because people are always going to want to diversify. And like I said, there's the utility aspect too, but couldn't it shrink to some degree and some of that flow to Bitcoin? And even if it doesn't shrink, because more money is always coming into existence, and there's new humans putting money wherever they're putting it, even if it doesn't shrink, there's still undeniably a lot of money that would be in gold if not for the existence of cryptocurrencies. And so Peter Schiff doesn't get this, and I understand that, but that's why it's amusing to cover this. Head of Schiff Gold Fund and CEO of Euro Pacific Capital, a vocal Bitcoin hater Peter Schiff, has taken to Twitter to share that the current rise of the gold price is bad news for Bitcoin. Schiff's son Spencer, who is a Bitcoiner unlike his father, stated that the precious metal has added merely 2%, but that did not convince his crypto-skeptical father. Schiff tweeted that gold has finally taken off after worse than expected data on inflation had been released. Bad news on inflation is good news for gold, he stated, adding that this rally is likely to be sustainable and has a long way to go. Yeah. So if you look at what's happened with gold over the last decade, it's evened out to the point where it's like it would have been effectively like nothing. Like you would have I mean, sure, so you can call it a store of value, and it actually is. But damn, what a terrible place to park money. I want something that's going to substantially appreciate here, and gold, damn. I'm not so convinced here. And so, anyway, here's a tweet from Peter Schiff. Gold finally rallied following worse than expected inflation data. If investors realize that bad news on inflation is good news for gold, the rally has a long way to go. It's also bad news for Bitcoin. If real gold is rising, there's no need to settle for a cheap imitation. This is so funny here. It's just the attributes. He just doesn't understand the attributes. He talks about intrinsic value and this and that. And I'm saying, I don't even want to have an argument about intrinsic value. There are attributes that cryptocurrencies have that people find valuable. And if people value those attributes, then the asset that makes that possible is valuable. This is not rocket science. So just because it doesn't make sense to you, you should be a curious enough person to realize other people don't share that opinion and think, might I be wrong then about the long-term viability of this? Because it doesn't matter whether or not you individually think it makes sense. Recognize that the rest of the people on the planet, they do think it makes sense. And because they think it makes sense, they're allocating their money accordingly. And as a result, the crypto asset class is not going away. Even if you don't think it makes sense, other people disagree. And so take a look at this. This is from June 9th this summer. Anthony Scaramucci says he accepts Bitcoin's volatility, sees upside as it challenges gold. This is an article from CNBC, and I think I wanted to jump in right around here. So they're covering Anthony Scaramucci, who is was he run? It's Skybridge Capital. I can't remember what I can't remember if he's like the CEO or maybe it says in here, and it's already escaped my brain, but it doesn't really matter. He's well known in the world of crypto. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the name anyway. But anyway, at the time of this article, Skybridge Capital had about $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here we go. Founder and co-managing partner of the firm. There you go. I knew it was in there somewhere. And so the piece reads as follows. He said Bitcoin is still only in its early adoption stage and is set to become a replacement for gold. And he said, quote, "We actually like the upside characteristics and are willing to accept the volatility in Bitcoin." And so that's why like you think about usefulness and what humans have decided. Well, it's not just that humans have decided Bitcoin deserves to be here. They've decided that XRP deserves to be here, certainly to this point in time. And things can change. The only thing that I'm pretty much as close to 100% sure of as possible is that the crypto asset class is here to stay. And so even if I'm wrong on all the horses I'm betting on, including Bitcoin, including XRP, because I hold, and by the way, I hold about 24 different cryptocurrencies, all of them could go away. And money's still going to flock to something because there are these attributes that you cannot have that people find valuable. It cannot have these attributes without decentralized cryptocurrencies and underlying assets traded in open markets. And so even if I'm wrong about all of the cryptocurrencies I hold, there will be a cryptocurrency or cryptocurrencies, I think multiple, that are going to have long-term viability. And so I don't think it's reasonable at this point to believe that XRP or Bitcoin is just magically going to go away. There isn't sufficient evidence to think that makes sense, not at this point. And humans can change their behaviors, but that's why I'm saying I'm going to keep monitoring this. I will be vigilant as I continue to invest in the crypto asset class for the coming decades. But damn, there's a lot of opportunity here. And then the piece continues. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, according to CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin is often pitched as a potential rival to gold as a long-term store of value. At present, however, Bitcoin's price tends to be exponentially more volatile than gold itself. Yeah, let me pause and just state that volatility is the reason I'm here. That's the point of investing, and this is the most volatile asset class on the planet, and that's a positive. It's viewed as a negative to people that don't know what they're talking about. It's viewed as a negative to people that are new to investing who don't realize the volatility is why we're here. That is the opportunity. And here's a quote from Scaramucci. "If you went back to Amazon's IPO back in 1997, if you held that stock, $10,000 of that stock on its IPO is now worth $24 million. But you would have subjected yourself to 8 periods of time where the stock dropped at least 50% as it was scaling pursuant to Metcalfe's law." Exactly. And so look, this is what's happening with Bitcoin. This is what's happening with XRP. And I am going to continue to hold. I will not be shaken out because this is where truly life-changing wealth is being made. It's where the most opportunity for financial gain is available on the planet, especially for people of modest means. The everyday person can come here and accumulate life-changing wealth if they just inform themselves and invest accordingly. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.